Okay, so everyone getting comfortable on your back, if that's what works for you. That's how I start my classes, but you're always free to start sitting if that's your practice. So lying down flat on the earth, and maybe your legs are straight out, see how that feels, or maybe it feels better to bend your knees right now with your feet on the floor. Maybe the knees fall in together, maybe they face up to the ceiling, maybe you have a pillow under your knees. So if you have pillows around and blankets that you think you'll need for your practice, if you generally use pillows and blankets, then you can get that now, those now. And otherwise, we're settling in. So slowly becoming aware of your breath, of the rhythm of the breath, letting go of all control and just following the breath as it moves in through your nose and leaves gently out through your nose. Maybe noticing that your body naturally settles with the exhale. That there's a natural relaxing to the body with your exhale. The exhale is connected to the nervous system, all working together. So that's what makes yoga a little different from other physical practices. We want to connect to the nervous system to bring the body back into balance with the mind and the spirit, to find the peace that comes with that balance. We have this wonderful body, miraculous, awe-inspiring. We move it, we feed it, we protect it, we clean it and rest it, all with varying degrees of care at different times. We use the yoga practice to connect with our everyday stuff as we bring awareness to the breath and the body and the feelings that crop up. You go through, or I've gone through, phases of finding strength to appreciate my body, to become flexible, to feel safe, find courage, find balance, feeling steady in some poses on some days, and in some small way you connect one breath with one movement, and you succeed to be graceful in that one movement, strong, rooted, and grateful. And sometimes we roll out our mats, and from the very moment we start to the end, to the final namaste, you're totally connected to the breath, to the earth, to the energy that surrounds you. And that's why we come back again. For the moments that we connect, until we bring awareness to every breath and every movement, and suddenly we find ourselves in that state of peace more often than not. It is the deep knowing of the joyful moments that we have experienced that bring us back, that bring us to take each step, the possibility of wonder, what might be revealed, that moves us forward. And we are doing the same thing in this hard time. We're just taking one step, getting through the day, maybe just getting through the day. And then other days, the day moves quickly and we're found joy in the entire day. We come to the mat with curiosity, without expectation, open to whatever comes up, but hoping to bring that mindful awareness, that practice of breath in the body, the open heart and the open mind, to bring that into our everyday life so we have more moments of joy and peace. Deep breath in, and with your exhale, land on the earth. Find the breath again. Breathe into the front and back of the heart space. Breathe into the wings of the heart, so that you're aware of the entire thoracic body expanding, opening to the breath, accepting the breath. One breath leading to the next with a gentle pause in between the breaths. And it's in the moment at the end of the exhale, before the next inhale, that we soften. Just bringing awareness to that beat at the end of the exhale for 3 more rounds of breath. And with the next inhale, maybe the arms extend up overhead, whatever that is for you, softening the arms and the shoulder sockets, but reaching, extending through the fingertips, aware of the lengthening of the opening through the side body. Maybe you're able to extend one leg and then the other and reach into the heels as you flex the feet, lengthening through the entire back body. Maybe pointing the toes, and then softening the arms to either side of the hips, rolling through the ankles, making some circles, soften the knees, just allow the feet to rotate there, and then in the opposite direction. And with your next exhale, as you gather the belly, draw one knee and then the other in for a hug, maybe the hands come in back of the knees, maybe over the shins, but be sure that the shoulders are soft and resting on the earth and you're not over efforting. Maybe rocking from side to side if that feels good. Maybe resting in stillness and breathing into the back of the body. And remembering that I only offer suggestions. Then you get to choose throughout the practice what feels good for you and what doesn't. With your next exhale, allow the left foot to float to the earth with the bent knee, drawing that right knee in. With your exhale, maybe as the belly gathers in and up, maybe the thigh comes a little closer to the belly. With the inhale, allow the elbows to open, the knee softens away. Exhaling and inhaling, moving in the hip socket, forward and back, opening and closing off the hip, getting some movement and aware of how that echoes throughout the body. What do you feel in the lower back? Are you efforting with the shoulders and the arms? Is your jaw soft? How's the breath? Coming to stillness with that next exhale, releasing the bind and inhaling that leg straight up to the ceiling. As you root into the sacrum, extend into the heel. Fanning the toes away from each other, curling them in, inhaling and exhaling, slow, mindful movement with the breath. Not being in a hurry to get anywhere. And then finding stillness there and crossing that ankle over the thigh, softening the right knee away from you. Maybe you're staying right there. Just breathing into the right hip, lower back, side body. Maybe you're able to find more space and walk the left heel a little closer to the sitting bone. Following the breath. Maybe it's in your practice to exhale and lift that left foot and Take the fingers, the hands, and back of the thigh for a deeper opening. And then you try it and it doesn't feel good and you're efforting in the shoulders and you back out and go to the place before you, where the breath was smooth. And maybe with your exhale, both knees float a little to the left, keeping that right knee away from you, keeping the ankle crossed over the knee. Yeah, and then inhale up to center. And exhale over a little so that both shoulders stay resting on the earth and that right hip lifts a little, bringing you into a gentle twist. What do you feel? Move in and out with the breath. 2 more rounds like this, maybe moving a little deeper each time, maybe staying right where you are. Do you have the space? How does it feel? And when you inhale, find some stillness there. Extend that leg straight up into the ceiling 1 more time. And then bend the knee, float the foot to the earth. And to exhale, the left knee in for a hug. Softening through the shoulders, aware that this side might already feel different than the other. And maybe you're moving in and out, exhaling, drawing your knee a little closer, inhaling, backing it away. It can be a very small movement, an inch or 2, not over efforting, just aware of your edge, moving your body wherever it is today. Some small, gentle movement in the hip. The next time you exhale, release the bind, and inhale, extend that heel straight up to the ceiling. Reaching into the heel, fanning the toes away from each other, curling them in. Aware of the movement linked to the breath. The breath starts, the movement is throughout that breath. Gentle pause, and we move into the next. And finding stillness there and flexing that foot and crossing the ankle over the thigh. How does this feel as you soften that left knee to move away from you? Just offering that, not forcing. Maybe you're staying right here, or maybe after a few rounds of breath, you're able to walk that right heel a little closer to the right sitting bone. Maybe with your exhale, you're lifting that right foot off the earth and binding in back of the right thigh. Maybe that doesn't feel so good and you're going back to where you were. Maybe with your exhale, keeping that left foot flexed, you're allowing both knees to float to the right as you lift that left hip. Inhaling up to center, exhaling back over. Moving with your breath, and it doesn't really matter if it's an inhale or an exhale. Just linking breath with movement. Aware of the difference between this side and the other, not judging it, just using the breath to soften where you need to. Back out of the places that don't feel so good. And the next time you inhale up to center, then finding some stillness there and extending that leg straight up to the ceiling, reaching into the heel and bending the knee and floating that foot to the earth. Walking the feet the width of the mat and exhaling both knees over to one side. And with your inhale, floating up to the ceiling and exhaling over to the opposite side. Reclining windshield wiper. The shoulders rest on the earth and we're moving from the waist down, allowing for the lower back and the hips to open, allowing gravity to act on the body, not pushing or forcing the body into a shape it's not ready for. What do you notice? What do you feel? The wider the feet are, the more space the leg has to rotate in the hip socket. And the next time you inhale up to center, keep the feet right where they are, wide on the mat, and allow the knees to fall together. And then adjust the feet so that you're not squeezing the inner thighs or the knees together. They're just resting there naturally. Allowing focus to return to the breath if you've lost it. Breathing into the heart space. Breathing into the side ribs all the way down to the space in alignment with the belly button, just under the last rib. Breathing deep to fill the lungs completely. Aware of the muscles between the ribs expanding to allow the breath to fill. Our life source, the energy that enables us to move through our practice. With your next inhale, the knees float over the feet and the feet come back to hips distance. The shoulder blades maybe tuck a little closer to the center of the back and slide away from the ears. The arms extend alongside the body, palms face down. And you're aware of the foundation, the rooting of the soles of the feet to the earth, and the shoulders resting into the earth. Keeping that foundation with your inhale, lifting the sacrum straight up, maybe an inch, maybe two, maybe more. With your exhale, slowly lowering down. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, lowering down. Aware of the back body that lifts you and opens the heart. And aware of the front body guiding you down, maybe one vertebra at a time, and then coming to rest on the sacrum. Not forcing the natural curve out of the lower back if that doesn't feel good for you. Maybe going from the last rib right to the sacrum if you're slowly lowering down. Aware of what you feel as you roll in and out of your bridge. Not forcing anything, keeping the breath smooth and even. Going deeper as the body opens, softening with the breath. And the next time you inhale, find stillness in the fullest expression of your pose right now, at this moment. Maybe you can inhale the heart even more towards your chin, opening a little deeper through the hip creases and the front body. And with your exhale, slowly lowering down to come back to rest on the earth. Extending one leg and then the other straight out onto the floor in front of you. Inhaling the right arm alongside your ear. Walking both shoulders over to the left and both legs walk over to the left as you keep the hips resting and breathing into that space that you've created. Aware of the breath moving into the right side body. It wants to move there. You just allow it. By letting go of any gripping or tension, of any expectation, of any judgment. Finding just the breath. And with your next inhale, walking the legs back to the center, and the arm floats down by your side, and you shift the shoulders over the hips. And inhale the left arm alongside your ear, walking the shoulders a little to the right. And walking both legs over to the right. Equal weight in both sides of the hips, equal weight in both shoulders, softening that raised arm so that it rests on the earth, so you're not efforting. And then find the breath filling the side body again, allowing it to move even deeper. And with your next inhale, you walk the legs back under the hips and then float that arm alongside the body and the shoulders shift. And with your next exhale, the belly gathers and you draw one knee and then the other in for a hug. Maybe rocking from side to side, if that feels good. And then coming to stillness with both knees over the hips, as if you were sitting in an invisible chair. The arms resting beside you, the shoulders tucked underneath the heart space. With the head resting on the earth, maybe you soften the chin a little to the notch on the collarbone to find even more length in the back of the neck. One straight line down the back body with all its natural curves. And it's the core that keeps this. So the pit of the belly is gathering in and up. The front ribs hug gently towards the earth. And you rest quietly on that floor beneath you. Maybe with your next exhale, the left knee floats away from you and that left foot taps down to the earth. And with your inhale, it draws back up. So bent knee tap, straight leg tap. This is your body. How much are you challenging? What feels good? Does the breath stay smooth and even? I forget if I cued moving from one side to the other. So going from side to side, using the breath to guide you. Finding the ease in that flow without an extra ounce of effort. Aware of just what it takes to move in and out. How much breath, which muscles, can you soften the jaw, unclench the hands. And the next time the knees are up at center, allow the feet to float to the floor. With bent knees, the feet are wide, the knees fold together. Just 3 rounds of breath here. Deep breaths in, releasing, softening breaths out. Aware of the sensation in the body. Maybe you feel a gentle hum as we start to warm everything up and get the energy moving. Walking the feet back to hips distance and rolling over to one side or the other, using your arm as a pillow. Drawing the knees up in the direction of the chest. Maybe you stay right here, a couple of rounds of breath. Just aware of the back body and the opening that you've created, the breath filling that space. Maybe you're able to shift the shoulders a little bit forward to round through the upper back. Maybe the forehead comes in the direction of the knees and you round through the back of the neck. Without any pressure from gravity, we can curl forward. Coming into the breath, filling the back of the heart and the entire back body. One more deep inhale. And with the exhale, the belly gathers. You use your hands on the earth and extend the top leg straight, press into the earth, draw yourself up. So not just the arms, but the core body brings yourself up to sit and then up and over onto all fours. What a blanket for your knees. So you come into your tabletop, such a familiar place to be. We set ourselves up, we find our foundation. Wrist creases just a little in front of the shoulders, knees under the hips. The shoulder blades slide away from the ears and they're active on the back body as we root into the earth. There's an opening in that back body. The belly gathers to protect the lower back. The gaze is to the earth with a softening in the back of the neck. And with your inhale, the shoulders stay right where they are. And that right leg extends straight back, curling the toes under, toes on the earth. Reaching into the heel. Extending from the crown of the head into that heel, finding the length. And as you activate the leg, we lift it to the ceiling, straight off the hip. So how does the lower back feel? Natural curve supported by the belly. Straightening into the back of the knee, finding length. Easy breath in, soft breath out. Maybe as you commit to the rooting in the right hand, you can experiment with inhaling the left arm alongside your ear. Maybe that's not going to work for you today, and you bring that left hand back down to the earth. Just breathing here. Lengthening through the back, strengthening through the core. As you reach through the fingertips, if the left arm is extended, the arm is soft in the shoulder socket. And if you have the space, maybe you can inhale the thumb a little higher towards the ceiling. Maybe not. No efforting. Nice. With your next exhale, maybe the elbow and the knee meet underneath your body. Drawing the belly in and up. Elbow and knee together. With your inhale, you extend. Maybe now this is too challenging and you bring that, because the breath is compromised and you're struggling, that left hand comes down and the knee draws into the belly. And you leave out the part of the elbow. So your practice, what feels right, what is too much effort and takes away the ease of the breath. The pit of the belly hugs in and up, the thigh hugs to the belly, deeply strengthening those core muscles, finding the breath. One more round like this, or maybe you've come to stillness and then that hand floats down and the knee floats down and you take some hip circles or get some movement here that feels right for you. Where are you gripping and holding? Where can you release? And then finding stillness again in your tabletop. Maybe you're coming down to your forearms because this is too much for your wrist creases. Same work of rooting down into the forearms or rooting down into the palms to activate the muscles that wrap around the shoulders to keep you stable and safe. Inhaling, that left leg extends back, keeping the thoracic body right where it is. Curling the toes under, reaching into the heel. Extending, finding space in the hip socket. And then when you're ready, inhaling that leg, that active leg, extend straight off the hip, but towards the ceiling. Nice, strong arms. Right hip crease draws back and in, keeping the length in the right side body. Maybe you commit to that left hand and you experiment with inhaling the right arm alongside your ear. Softening the arm in the shoulder socket. Maybe this is working for you today, maybe not. Your practice, soften there. Breathe. Maybe the thumb can lift a little higher as you feel an opening through that side body. With your exhale, the knee and the elbow start to come together. They don't ever have to touch, and the belly gathers, and the lower back has a gentle curve to it. Inhaling, slowly extending back into that stretch. Moving with your breath, backing out of it when it doesn't feel right for you. Maybe the hands on the floor, maybe you're just working the core with the leg. Same benefit, no effort. You get to decide. Each side is different. Nice. And with your next exhale, the hand comes down, the knee comes down. Bring yourself up to stand over your knees, so shins on the earth, maybe hips and shoulders over the knees and roll through the shoulders. Let go of the efforting and shoulders, making circles up to the ears, together and down. Slow it down and reverse the circles. Big circles. Nice. And they float up to the ears and they slide together on the back and they soften and release down to the waist. And you have a big opening across the collarbone, and that's where the breath goes. And we interlace the fingers to the webbing and roll through the wrists, opening up those wrists, or making individual fists and rolling the wrists and reversing those circles. And shake it out and let it go. And coming with your inhale, lengthening the heart away from the belly button. Exhale, gathering the belly and hinging forward from the waist to come back down to all fours. Totally lost my train of thought. Yes, this happens. Oh, maybe you're staying right here, walking your hands forward, one hand print. And exhaling, allowing the hips to soften towards the earth, but keeping one straight line from the top of the head. A baby plank. So the core is engaged right here. Maybe you're curling the toes under on the right foot and reaching into that heel. Nothing moved except the leg extended. Nice. Maybe you're staying right here, and this is your challenge for today. Rooting into the pads of the fingers, the joints at the base of the fingers, strong arms without locking out the elbows. Maybe you're able to extend into the left leg, coming into a plank. Maybe you're coming back to the knees and that was enough for you. A couple more rounds of breath here or not. And with your exhale, the knees float to the earth. And you slowly come down to forearms and allow the belly and the chest to rest, stacking one palm on top of the other and allowing the forehead, the third eye to rest on the back of the hand. And then soften the shoulders, release them down the back. Bend the knees and take windshield wiper on your belly. Just floating the legs side to side, the feet side to side. If it feels good for you, to just allow a release in the lower back, hips, and then come to stillness and allow the feet to float back to the earth again. Take them a little bit wider than the hips and let the tops of the feet, all 10 toenails, rest on the earth. And then root them to the earth. And as you press into the tops of the feet, maybe you find that the muscles in the legs become active and the knees slightly lift. Just a reaction, the whole body working together to root to the earth. And this keeps the lower back safe. And the breath is smooth and even. And maybe with your exhale, you gather the belly and inhale yourself to walk up onto your elbows, your forearms, with the elbows underneath your shoulders. Coming into Cobra, an opening through the front body, a strengthening of the back body. Root down into those forearms. You'll feel even more space to inhale the heart forward, soften the gaze to the floor, soften the back of the neck. Inhaling, lifting, lengthening the sternum away from the belly button without compressing the lower back. No congestion in the back body, because the entire rib cage really is reaching, extending out of the lower back. Rooting with the legs without clenching the glutes. Everything is active, but are you overactive? One more inhale here, or maybe you've already backed out of it. Exhale, soften down into that crocodile again. One hand stacked on the other, bending the knees, floating the legs, feet, side to side, if that feels good for you. And then coming to stillness and allowing the feet to rest on the floor. Finding a foundation that works for you there, and allowing the chin or the forehead to come to the floor and the arms to extend alongside your body with the palms facing your hips, thumbs down, pinkies up. So forehead, chin, arms extended, root into the tops of the feet. And with your inhale, draw the shoulders away from the earth and together on the back body. Exhale, soften. Inhale, as you lengthen the sternum away from the belly button, the chest lifts. The gaze stays down. Soften the back of the neck. Nice. Exhale, lower all the way down to the earth. And with your next inhale, lifting, lengthening, keeping those shoulder blades drawing together. Maybe it's in your practice to reach through the fingertips, lift them off the earth. Exhale, lower down. Keep the breath smooth and even. Maybe a couple of rounds of breath. We're lifting the chest, extending through the heart space on the inhale, but keeping a softness in the back of the neck and the gaze to the earth right now. Moving slowly with your breath, keeping it with just a gentle pause, and the next time you exhale down, find stillness there. Turn onto your left cheek. Let the arms come up into goddess arms, so we're bending at the elbows, and then allowing the right knee to float off your hip. So bending the right knee, and bringing it into, as if you were coming into tree pose. So the knee comes off to the side, off your hip. Nice. And maybe you keep the foot alongside the left slide, or maybe you slide that right foot out under the knee. What feels good for you? We're opening through the front of the hip, softening through the back body. Finding the breath, filling the back and side body. How does this feel for you? Can you use the breath to soften? So we're lying on the floor, the belly. We're lying on the belly. We're on our left cheek, and the right leg is resting on the floor with a bent knee straight off the hip. It's a restorative pose. It's not an active pose. Feeling safe, supported, and connected to the earth. Aware of the breath. As if you were in your tree pose, lying on the floor. And so you become aware that your right hip isn't resting on the floor. So obviously in your tree pose, your knee wouldn't be straight off your hip. It's a little to the front of your hip. With your inhale, allow that right leg to extend straight back onto the floor. Turn your head to the right cheek to face the other direction. Soften there, find a comfortable position to rest. And allow the left knee to slide off your hip. Out to the side as you bend the knee. And maybe you feel comfortable with your foot resting against the inner thigh or thereabouts. No pressure, just bent knee. Or maybe you can slide that foot under the knee, resting on the big toe side of the foot. Don't worry if you don't connect 100% body and mind cueing. But find a comfortable place to rest. Find the breath. See if you can become aware of where the breath is moving in your body. Is there tension somewhere? Can you soften with the exhales? Maybe not today. 3 more rounds of breath here. No effort, soft shoulders, easy breath. And extending that knee straight in back of you, that leg slides back. Nice. Walking, turning you to face the earth and walking both hands to come under your shoulders. Exhale, gather the belly, press into the earth, come back onto all fours here. Wrist creases just in front of the shoulders, as wide as the shoulders, the hands root to the earth. With your exhale, the tailbone tucks, the spine rounds to the ceiling, the top of the head maybe drops to the earth if that feels good for you. With your inhale, tailbone lifts, belly softens, heart reaches between the armpits as maybe you lift the gaze, finding a fluid movement linked to breath, a wave of motion up and down the back body. Moving with the breath, slow it down, the entire breath and one movement, the entire breath and the next movement. Not being in a hurry to get to that fullest expression of your cat. Aware of what happens from the time you tip your tailbone to the time that you drop the top of your head. Using the breath to soften. Moving meditation. Aware of the breath, aware of the body, of the shoulder blades sliding away from the ears as the heart extends between the arms. Nice. With your next inhale, find a neutral spine, the belly hugging to support the back. Walk the big toes to touch and the knees to walk the width of the mat. Exhale, the hip creases reach in the direction of the heels. Inhale, lengthen the heart away from the belly button. Exhale, slowly lowering yourself down to rest on the earth. Maybe the third eye reaches the earth. Maybe you stack the hands, make fists, find a blanket or a block to rest under the forehead. So the forehead makes contact with something, giving the nervous system the message that you're safe, you're supported. With the exhales, you can soften and let go. And finding the breath filling the entire back body. Breathing into the wings of the heart. Softening with the exhales. Finding the length, the natural length of the back body, from the tip of the tailbone to the crown of the head. The muscles soften and regain their natural length. Let go of the tension. And the breath moves freely again. No tension in the shoulders or the jaw. Softening through the hips. With your next exhale, gather the belly. Walk your hands forward underneath the shoulders. The knees come back underneath the hips. Curling the toes under as we prepare for downward facing dog. So now you know where we're going. Don't anticipate it. Don't be in a hurry to get there. Walk the hands forward, maybe one handprint, and then root into those hands. Toes are curled under. As if you could slide the top of the mat away from you, you root into the hands, allowing the hip creases to reach back in the direction of the heels. Inhale there, find that length. Arms are resting in the shoulder sockets. Maybe you're staying right here today. Maybe with your exhale, you gather the belly, lift the knees an inch or two off the floor. Inhale, extend, straighten those legs, reach the hip creases up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling. And then walk your dog, bicycle out your downward dog. Bending one knee deeply, using the breath to guide you so that you're moving slowly, mindfully from one leg, one side to the other. Maybe this is too much for you and you're coming back down to all fours, following the breath. Maybe you would like to come into stillness in your dog and see what it's like to rest in the stillness. Can you find the ease in the pose and let go of all efforting as you press into the palms of the hands, reaching the hip creases up and back and softening the heels down toward the earth. The heart melts. Nice. Gazing forward with your inhale, bending both knees so that you can walk the hands and feet together. Exhale and walk the hands up to the thighs. Inhale into half forward fold so that the upper body is parallel to the earth. And you're gazing to the floor beneath you and you feel the feet, aware of the soles of the feet rooted to the earth. Strong legs support the back. Exhale, inhale, hinge all the way up to stand. Roll out those shoulders. Big circles, up, back, and down. Deep inhales, softening exhales. And stepping to the top of the mat if you're not already there to find your Tadasana. You can use either way too. You decide which is front and which is back. Where do you want your gazing point to be right now? So finding that gazing point and softening it. Aware of the earth beneath you and rooting into the circumference of the heels. The toes rest. And as you root into the circumference of the heels, you find the legs become active, the muscles, maybe even lifting the knees, not efforting, just engaging. And automatically, maybe you start to gather the pit of the belly so that when you root down from the waist down into the circumference of the heels, you can inhale and lengthen the ribs out of the hips, soft shoulders. Maybe your fingertips are extended to the earth, palms open. The chin dips slightly to the notch in the collarbone. Take what you need, let go of the rest. Maybe you're not into these little adjustments. Maybe your work today is to connect to the earth and find the breath. And allow it to be smooth and even. As we inhale, allow the arms to float out, around, and up. And up is a relative term. Find what feels comfortable for you. Nice. Root into the heels with the exhale. With the inhale, grow taller. With your exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Bend the knees, hands float to the tops of the thighs. Inhale there, soften the shoulder blades down the back, lengthen the heart away from the belly button. Exhale, root into the feet. Inhale, float all the way up to stand. Move with your breath. I'm just making suggestions. Bring it to the heart center. Inhale, allow the arms to float out, around, and up. Familiar vinyasa. Movement linked with breath. We're exhaling, hinging forward here, bending the knees. Inhale, lengthen the heart, soften the shoulders. Exhale, belly gathers, root down to inhale up with a flat back. Exhale, bring it to the heart center. Move with your breath. I'll just cue it. Inhaling, extending. Exhaling, floating forward, soft knees. Inhale, finding the length through the back body. Exhale, maybe you're softening a little closer to the earth or hinging closer to the earth. Inhale, lengthen, hard away from belly button. Exhale, root down, inhale up. Exhale, heart center. 2 more rounds like this. Inhaling, arms floating out, around, up, soft in the shoulders. Exhale, swan dive down, maybe that feels good. Soft knees. Inhale, finding even more length. Exhale, maybe straightening the knees a little, maybe coming a little, hinging a little closer to the earth. Take a few rounds of breath here. What do you feel? What do you notice? This opens the entire back body. So maybe you feel it in the back of your thighs, right? That's the most common. Maybe you feel it in your lower back, and that means you've gone too far and you're coming out of the pose. Soften the back of the neck. Belly hugs in and up, front ribs hug towards the back. It's a gentle hug. Shoulder blades slide to the center of the back, rooting into the circumference of the heels. With your inhale, float all the way up, extend through the fingertips. With your exhale, bring it to the heart center. Last time, inhale, out, around, and up. Exhaling, hinging forward, soft knees. Inhale, lengthening heart away from sternum. Exhale, reach the hip creases back, deep lengthening through the lower back. Inhale there, exhale, root into the feet. Inhale, all the way up to stand. Exhale, heart center. Allow the thumbs to rest at the upper chest. Root into the feet, soften here, connecting with the breath. Your breath, has it become ragged or uneven? Do we need to make the exhales a little longer than the inhales to come back into a more natural rhythm? Aware of the breath filling the front and back of the heart space. And any other sensation in the body. Aware of the pulse of the heart, the beat of the heart, as it echoes into the palms of your hands, the belly, soles of your feet. Where do you feel it? Your eyes. Nice. Softly blinking open your eyes. If you've closed them, release the fingertips towards the earth and roll through those shoulders again, big circles. Let that go. Just checking the time because I'm at my class. Nice. Let's move through some standing poses. So we're going to face the long side of the mat, some side poses. Nice. We'll pivot the right foot to face the short end of the mat. Bringing the hands to the hips and leveling out the hips. So nice wide stance that you feel comfortable in and safe and supported, and then root into that foundation. So as you root into both feet, the legs become active. With your inhale, maybe you can find space to extend the ribs out of the hips, but soften the shoulders. Maybe extending the arms out to the side in T. And breathing into that space below the collarbone. With your exhale, as you bend into that right knee, both hips settle straight down to the earth, not forward, not back. Just settling the hips down. Nice. With your exhale, find your peaceful warrior. The left hand floats to the back of the thigh as you inhale that right arm alongside your ear. And then pause here. Inhale, find some more length, and exhale, float back into the peaceful warrior. So the right knee is bent, you're reaching to the left, and the breath fills that space from armpit to hip. Soften through the shoulder. Exhale, gather the belly. Inhale, find your warrior. Easing over the fingertips on that right hand. Strong foundation, knee tracking towards the first and second toe. That's an active leg. rooting to the pinky toe side of the left foot. With your inhale, floating both arms to reach to the ceiling, straightening through that right leg without locking the knee. Exhale, float straight down to your warrior. Nice. Inhaling up, exhaling. Soft shoulders, supported by the foundation. Nice. Move with your breath. One more round like this. Do you notice? What do you feel? Not judging, not expecting, just noticing. And then straightening through that right leg. Floating the hands to the hips. Both feet face forward. Take a shoulder loop. Soften the shoulders down the back. Root down, lengthen straight up. Pivot the left foot to face the top of the mat. Nice. Maybe you like to take the right heel out a little more than the toes. Maybe that's your practice. Does this feel safe? Root down. Grow taller. Soften the back of the neck and the jaw. Inhale, reaching through the fingertips without efforting into them. Broad across the collarbone. With your exhale, settle the hips straight down as you bend into that knee, left knee. Nice. Breathing here. Noticing what you notice. Did that left knee track to the first and second toe? Are you drawing that knee to the room in back of you and still reaching into the pinky toe side of the right foot? Keeping that foundation that keeps you safe and rooted to the earth. Exhale, right hand floats down to rest on the back of the thigh. Inhale, left arm reaches towards the ceiling. Pause here. Exhale, root down. Inhale, find space as the thoracic body lifts out of the hips. Exhale, then you can move into your peaceful warrior. Finding that opening from hip to armpit without collapsing on the right side body. Soft shoulders, easy breath, filling that space. Keeping the foundation. With your next inhale, floating back into your warrior two. Forget what I did on the other side if we did this more than once. But we're going to move in and out of our warrior two. So with your next inhale, straightening that knee, extending the fingertips to the ceiling. With your exhale, floating into your warrior two. Nice. Trying to be aware of the foundation. Move with your breath. Inhale, there's an extension, but the arms are in their sockets. Exhale. Strong foundation, light upper body. Inhale, exhale. Your breath, one movement, one breath. What do you notice? This should feel good. Maybe you're not bending your knee, bending and straightening the knee. Maybe you're just moving the arms. Maybe you're not moving the arms. You're just moving, bending and straightening the knee. Nice. The next time you come into warrior two, find stillness, find the strength in the warrior, and then find the gentleness. Find the ease of the breath. Exhale, float the hands down. Heel toe, walk the feet together and step to the top of your mat. We're going to come down to the earth again. So maybe you use blocks, maybe you want to use your bed, maybe you have a chair in your room. We find our foundation. We root into the circumference of the heels. And we lengthen through the crown of the head, aware of the core muscles that become active. We inhale and float the arms out, around, and up. And we exhale and hinge forward. Inhale, lengthening there. Exhale, folding deeper. And then deeply bending the knees till the hands can come to the blocks or the floor so we can step one knee back and then the other. Allowing the big toes to touch and knees to walk up wide. And then reaching the hip creases back. inhaling there and exhaling, floating down towards the earth. 3 rounds of breath here in your child pose. Maybe you keep the arms extended and it's an active child pose. Maybe the forearms soften to the earth, releasing the shoulders. Maybe the hands walk back towards the heels, allowing the shoulders to drape. Allowing the heart to melt, and aware of the breath. And exhale, gather the belly, and inhale, walk yourself up to sit on your heels. And then you're coming to sit with the legs extended out in front of you. And even though I hardly ever do seated twists, I did this with a bunch of people recently, and I really found it helpful. So, bending the right knee and placing the foot flat on the floor. Soften the shoulders down the back. The hands are interlaced across the shin. And we inhale and use this foundation to draw the heart a little closer to the thigh and higher towards the ceiling. How does this feel on your lower back? Equal weight in both sitting bones. And maybe you're staying right here. Maybe you're releasing the left hand and walking it in back of you. And then rooting that right foot to the floor, take your right elbow and to the inside of the right knee. Inhale, lengthen. Use the left hand for support and length. Maybe you're staying right here. Maybe you're gently opening the heart towards the left. Or a gentle twist. Maybe gazing over the left shoulder. Maybe not. With your next inhale, gaze forward. Take the hand back to the shin. And then draw that left hand forward, extend through the right leg. Shake it out, let it go. Flex and point, roll the ankles. And then bend into the left foot. Root it to the earth. Find both sitting bones and inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, drawing the heart, the sternum a little closer to the thigh. Core is engaged so that you can reach that right hand or walk that right hand in back of you. And keep the length through the back body, not dumping into the lower back. The left elbow comes to the inside of the thigh. Use it as a foundation. Root down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, gentle twist to the right. Open heart, easy breath. Maybe gazing over that right shoulder. Easy breath. Open heart. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, gather the belly. Bring yourself back to center. Extend that leg. Shake it out, let it go. Both feet come to the earth. The feet are at the top of the mat so that you know when you lie back, your head will be on your mat. Nice. The hands are in back of the thighs. And maybe you open up the arms and come to the top of the sacrum, and you want to do a little core work, and the palms split to the ceiling. And the heart lengthens away from the belly button and reaches up, soften the back of the neck, chin softens to the notch in the collarbone. And you're breathing, and that's how you know you haven't gone too far. And maybe with your exhale, you carve out the lower belly and slowly roll down, coming to elbows or rolling to one side and then coming to lie flat on the floor. Resting on the earth. Maybe legs are extended, maybe knees are bent right now. Deep breath in. With the exhale, release into that support, let it go. How does it feel to rest in this stillness? Aware of the breath in, aware of the breath out. With your next exhale, gather the belly and draw one knee and then the other in for a hug. Maybe you rock from side to side. And how does this feel? Does this feel any different than the first time you brought the knees in at the start of the practice for a hug? Maybe. No expectations, no judgments, but just noticing. And then coming to stillness and allowing the feet to float to the earth. Maybe you'd like to take another pose to complete your practice. Maybe you like legs up the wall. Maybe you like supported legs up the wall, so you have a block or a blanket or a pillow. And you start with your bridge pose, softening the shoulders down the back, tucking them to the center of the back, bent knees, feet on the earth. Inhale, lifting the hips, placing a block underneath the sacrum, and then extending one leg and then the other up towards the ceiling. Or maybe you're resting on the earth and extending the legs up to the ceiling, and you don't do it with a prop. Maybe you're staying in supported bridge. Maybe rolling in and out of bridge pose. Your practice, your body, what do you need to do to complete this practice? We look forward to some poses. We have some aversion to others. What do you do in your practice? We just notice, because usually what we do on our mat, we do in our everyday lives. Find the breath. Maybe you stay for a couple of rounds. Maybe you'd like to stay here for Shavasana, and that's great, especially if you have something to rest your legs against, like a bed or a blanket or a chair to rest them on. Maybe you'd like to come into a final spinal twist, so with your exhale, the feet find the floor. You inhale there and exhale both knees up over the hips, and then allow them to float to one side. One and then the other, the knees stack, resting the shoulders flat on the earth, equal weight in both sides. Maybe you inhale and extend the arms out in T, palms up, aware of the length from armpit to hip. Allow the breath to fill that space. Maybe you gaze to the fingertips opposite the knees for a total spinal twist. How does that feel for your neck? Not forcing, but allowing. Two more rounds of breath. Letting go of any remaining gripping and tension with the exhales. And when you're ready, inhaling both knees back up to center and then allowing them to come to the other side. Or maybe this side's a little different and you like to prop your knees. Softening with the exhale, allowing for that length from armpit to hip. The hip moving away from the armpit, lengthening away. Shoulders resting on the earth, breathing into the space underneath the collarbone. Maybe gazing to the fingertips opposite the knees. This side's a little different than the other. Breathing in, breathing out any remaining gripping and tension. Softening the breath, allowing it to return to its natural rhythm. Releasing all control. With your inhale, the knees float back up to center as you gaze to the ceiling, drawing them in for a final hug. And then preparing for Shavasana. Maybe you need socks, a blanket, a pillow under your knees, a pillow under the back of your head. Make yourself comfortable so that you can rest easily. And then we choose stillness and settle into that stillness. Allowing the body to become heavy into the support beneath you. Aware of the breath. Just watching. Palms face up if possible for a deeper opening across the heart. Maybe tucking the chin towards the notch in the collarbone, lengthening through the back of the neck. Aware of where your body meets the earth. Releasing into that safe, secure support. No place to go, nothing to do. Just being here with this breath in this moment. The breath bringing us back. Our thoughts have settled, become a little quieter, but every once in a while they tug at us, and we honor them and allow them to float away just for now. Bringing the body back into balance using the breath. Softening the space between the eyes rest heavy in the back of the head. The forehead melts to the earth and all the muscles surrounding the eyes soften and release. The jaw softens. The tongue rests away from the roof of the mouth and the lips gently meet. And all the muscles in the face melt towards the earth. Breathing in, breathing out. Your natural rhythm. Maybe attaching a color or a mantra to the breath. Maybe one of the colors of the chakras, wherever you feel tight. Red at the base of the spine, orange, the space below the belly button. Yellow, the space below the ribs. Green, the heart center. Blue, the throat. Violet, the space between the eyes, with a bright white light at the crown of the head. Maybe breathing through this rainbow of colors, watching the energy move freely. Maybe choosing one. Just this breath. Over and over again we practice, allowing the focus to rest with the breath. And I'll be here to guide you out. Slowly becoming aware of your body resting on the earth beneath you. Becoming aware of the space surrounding you. As you gently deepen your inhales and exhales. Slowly bringing your body back from stillness with small, gentle movements. Softly rubbing your thumb against your fingertips, wiggling your toes. Maybe slowly turning your head from side to side. With a deep awakening inhale, extending the arms up overhead, maybe interlacing the fingers to the webbing and rotating the palms away from you. And when you're ready, releasing that bind and softening the arms to a comfortable position. As you bend one knee and then the other, just stack the feet softly onto the earth. Pausing here. Feeling more awake and alert with every inhale. Relaxed and peaceful. Ready to embrace the day ahead of you. And rolling over onto one side or the other, using your arm as a pillow. Allowing the knees to come in the direction of the chest and allowing the breath to fill the front and back of the heart space. Scanning your body with your breath, just noticing what has your practice given to you today. And what will you take with you off your mat and into your life? A wondrous body and a loving heart. We breathe into this loving heart. And this is where our joy resides. And we remember. With awareness, we can live in this place of peace and joy. Using the breath to bring us back. Keeping the eyes softly closed, if that suits you, press into the earth and draw yourself up into a comfortable, easy seat. And with your inhale, maybe the arms extend. And with your exhale, the palms float together through the center of the heart and they rest there. And we lift our hearts and we bow our heads with an instruction that I received from my teachers and he's received from his teachers and all the teachers that come before. To understand that our practice needs to be continuous, to bring yoga into each breath and step, that our hearts be steady, and that we dedicate our practice to be of benefit to all beings. May our practice be continuous. May our heart be steady. May our efforts be of benefit to all beings. And may all beings be safe. May they be healthy. May they be happy. May they find their freedom. And may they know peace and walk through the world with ease. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. I hope you feel good. We unmute you all. Great.
Thank you, Marie.